Hey everybody, this is Strategywizard again. Today I'm going to be doing another me versus critics of a game that I like. In this case, it's a game that I really like, which is Cosmic Encounter. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what people say that don't like it. Hopefully it will help you get an idea of what makes people not like it, so maybe it'll help you decide if you really would like this game. Obviously, I think it's amazing, but not everyone does, and you may be one of those people. Hopefully this gives you some insight onto the other side of the table, and let's go ahead and get started, and we'll see what these 1-stars think on BoardGameGeek.com. First of all, we have cool game. If played with the right people, you need gamers that understand how this game works, or you'll have some of the worst time ever. Find people who understand how negotiations in games work, and you'll have a blast. I tried it 3 times and hated it every time. Well, I'll agree with that. You do need to play with people who know how to negotiate, because that's a large portion of the game. It's that social aspect, so I'll agree with them there. If you don't have people who are engaged in the conversation and trying to, negotiate and socialize, you're not going to have a lot of fun, because that's, in my opinion, that's half the game. So I'll agree with him there. That's true. This guy says SMJJ loves this game, therefore I hate it. I don't know who SMJJ is, so I can't help you. Whatever the cause of the buzz about this game, it seems to have slipped me by. Okay, well, it may be, but I don't know why, because the game is amazing. Okay, now we've got, never before have I played a game where so little of the game created a narrative/story. I had so little choice in what I could do, yet was dumped on so much and still won. I often found myself having cards leached out of my hands by others, but no opportunity to draw new cards, participate in encounters, or even the simple consolation prize of choosing who to target for retribution when it was my turn. There is nothing that would make me play this again. Now, this guy, he says he had almost no choice in what he could do. Totally disagree with that. I mean, in this game, there's tons of choice. And granted, you don't get to choose who you fight, but you have choice in how you play your cards, how you negotiate and deal with the other players, and how you get alliances and try to get people to not ally with your opponent. And there's so much that goes on in this game, and your alien power adds tons to it. So I disagree with him on not much choice. There's lots of choice here. And he says that he found himself having cards leached out of his hands, but no opportunity to draw new cards. Well, it doesn't take, if you're losing a lot of cards to people playing negotiates, which is the main way I'm assuming that he's getting cards leached out of his hands, you have a few turns where you play a few cards and then people are taking your cards, you should be drawing a new hand real quick. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he didn't know what he was doing or what, but I disagree with him on that point. This guy says, boring, boring, and boring. Well, wrong, wrong, wrong. I don't know what to tell you. It's fun, fun, fun. Okay, this guy says, played once with loads of expansions in which the owner basically drowned. I myself drowned in the superpower of my character, which nobody seems to understand till this day. Tedious, long, fun, and laughs only for half of the table. Well, I don't really have anything to say to him. I don't know. I'd like to know what power he had that no one understood, but oh well. One of the worst game experiences ever. The game constantly pushes your hand through the destiny cards to attack a person who you would not want to. Then, most of the times, the luck of the draw will decide the situation. Barely a game, rather a mere annoyance. Most overrated game ever. No, it's the most underrated game ever because it's the best game ever. Of course, that's total opinion. I just had to throw that in there. But this, it blows my mind. He's going to say the luck of the draw will decide the situation. That is totally not true. Hand management decides the situation and your ability to bluff your opponents. As I said before, you can do incredible things with what seems to be a bad hand. You can do so much. Again, I think this goes to people who don't know how to play the game. I understand it's not... If you're not a social person, if you don't know how to bluff, and if you don't know how to do hand management to maximize what you have, yeah, it would be hard and it wouldn't be as fun. But if you know how to do those things, these problems that these people are mentioning just go away. They just disappear. Okay, probably the worst game I have ever played. Well, it's the best game I ever played, so I don't know how that works. I guess some people don't have good taste. Just kidding. Kind of, maybe not really. Okay, I have to totally agree with the negative comments. Way too much luck involved. My second and last ever game of this was totally powerless with the crap cards in my hand. Just sat there wishing I could be eliminated so I could leave the table and spend my time doing something enjoyable. Nostril hair trimming suddenly seemed riveting. An absolutely hideous game. Oh gosh. Again, he says powerless with the cards in his hand. totally not true. I have had a hand full of negotiates. That's pretty much it, and I did great. So I know that's not the case. I've had lots of bad attack cards, and I've been able to do well. I mean, you can pull through with what seems like a bad hand. I know it seems hard to some people, but I'm telling you, you can do it. You just have to know how to play. And to a certain extent, it does depend on the group you play with, because if you play with a bad group, yes, they will ruin it for you. I can assure you. A bad group could ruin this game for you, but given the right group, this game's amazing. So, I bought this game expecting great things. All of the reviews I read said that it is the greatest game ever. It is, so I'm glad you found that out. So, when I sat down to play it, I had high expectations. Yes, well, you should. This game is far too random for my tastes. No, it is not. It feels as though it's a mindless, strategyless game. You're wrong again. Draw a card, attack that player. It's like four-way war where someone is holding the best cards. That is so not true. How do people not understand how this works? I don't get it. You draw a card, attack the player. First of all, that's not right. You don't draw a card. Maybe he means play a card, but the point is, it's more than just who has the most powerful attack card. It's way more than that. It's about getting people to help you. It's about getting to negotiate to get cards out of people's hands at the right time, or trick someone into negotiating with you, saying, hey, why don't we just do a negotiate? We'll do colony for a colony. We both win. That way no one has to take a chance. And then you play an attack card instead. There's so much that can go on in this game, so I totally disagree. Totally disagree. As I'm sure you all know I will. I'm going to disagree with pretty much everybody in here for the most part, unless they have some decent reason. No matter how many times my friend makes us play it, no matter how many times Tom Vassell or Shut Up and Sit Down claim it is the best game ever, it still sucks. Unbalanced, random, not that fun. Well, it's not. Unbalanced is actually something I might be willing to agree on. The powers of the aliens are not balanced. There's no doubt about it. There are some that have these excruciatingly amazing powers, and there are others that have more subtle powers that are not so obviously useful, and maybe in some cases just aren't as useful, but that doesn't mean it's bad. That's part of the fun of the game, is seeing the interaction of the table with that imbalance, because people will notice who has the more powerful, or at least perceived to have the most powerful alien, and people will change what they do accordingly, I can assure you. And that's part of the fun, is seeing how things change as with the flow, and that aspect is awesome to me. Random, not that fun, you're wrong. Why won't they let this overrated, chaotic piece of crap follow the law of entropy? Because it's not overrated, it's not yeah, maybe a little bit of chaos, but it's controlled chaos and fun chaos and strategic chaos, I will add, if I may. So that's why you're as usual. Okay, the gaming equivalent of madcap comedy, massively unbalanced, albeit deliberately, vast amounts of luck, and can drag on for ages. 2 hours on one excruciating occasion. Well, 2 hours wouldn't be that big of a deal for me, because I love it so much. I would be like 2 hours of pure awesomeness. But vast amounts of luck, of course, I disagree with. Vast amounts of luck. I just don't understand. I have given this game a few chances, but all it has delivered are some of the most unpleasant gaming experiences I have ever had. I want to make meaningful decisions and have influence over my own destiny, rather than have the whimsical vagaries of group politics and negotiation completely determine the outcome. And if the outcome must be down to those things, then the game needs to last 30 minutes at most, so I can move on to something more interesting. There is no substance to justify it lasting any longer, with probably the most abhorrent feature being the lack of control over who to attack on your turn. This is okay. Here's the thing. The point of that is, in this game, if you had control over who you attacked, for one, everyone would gang up on someone to make them lose their power. That's not very fair or fun for the person who's being ganged up on. Or you're ganging up on the person, you're ganging up on the person who's winning or who has the best power. Let's put it that way. Or perceived to be the best power, because sometimes those are not the same. So there's a reason the Destiny deck is there, to control who you go after. It's to balance things out and make it to where everyone's getting their chance to get attacked and be the attacker. And honestly, it actually adds interesting mechanics, because some aliens are better as the defense or whatever. So I mean, there's something about that that's actually okay. It's not like they're just saying, oh, we're going to take away your agency to choose. No, it's a game mechanic that works in the realm of the game really well. So I totally disagree with them there. This is the one game I absolutely veto in my regular gaming group. It's a bit like gathering around a table and taking turns to say, I would like to win. Would you support me? Until someone gets bored and agrees. That would be me at first time of asking. I'm just astonished it is currently top 100. If you want to play a negotiation game, then I'm the boss is much better. Haven't played that, I must admit. In other words, it actually functions as a game. Well, so does Cosmic Encounter, such to a degree that it combines so many mechanics in a way that's fascinating and powerful. So, sorry, but it belongs in the top 100, which sadly it is no longer. It's 101 or something like that as of right now, and that's disappointing, but what can you do? This game is too chaotic. It has no sense to me. Just can't plan any strategy. It has too complicated rules for a party game, and it's too senseless to be fun. For everything I've already said, totally don't understand that. Played this recently after many years. A complete waste of time. My character was so powerful, no one could stop me winning, even when they all worked together. I guess some people call this complete lack of balance zany. I call it bleep. Okay, well, I disagree. We just couldn't find the horribly imbalanced nature of the game fun. It was a complete miss. I recently had a disagreement with a friend about the quality of this game. I feel it is mediocre at best, and he really likes it. Okay, that would be me. I really like it. I summed up my points stating that if I was still 12, I would love this game. Okay, now that's just kind of insulting. I guess I've been insulting these people, so I guess that's only fair, isn't it? He replied in turn, you know what? The last time I played, I was about 10. Okay. If you are looking for a heavy Euro game or anything that requires strategy, tactics, or thinking, this is not for you. You are so wrong. You are so wrong. So unequivocally wrong. Unequivocally wrong. If you want strategy and thinking, this is the game for you because it has so many layers of it. The negotiation, the social aspect, the hand management, trying to figure out how to deal with the cards and how to bluff people. I mean, it's social and tactical and everything else. It has so much. Timing, when you use your best cards. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Okay, but if you want a centerpiece to sit around while talking and joking with your friends, this can work. But do not mistake a conversation piece for a good game. This could just as easily be replaced in function by a witty joke, interesting story from last weekend, or a YouTube video. Initially gave this a 3, feeling I was being too harsh. I could not help but change to a 1. The BGG description of a 3 implied that I could be coerced into playing this thing again, which is just not true. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. It makes me sad. You know, I actually do not hate the game. It's just that every time I play this, it is decided by rather random factors. The key to this game, and rather all diplomatic games, is on the players. Once you see people growing spiteful with one another or give favorable sympathy, it really turns into a different game. I hate that. Winning the game becomes about ganging up rather than through clever play. I would rather have a game where people act in their best interest to win logically than be at the whim of emotions. That's a case where your group can obviously cause problems. The group I've played with Cosmic Encounter doesn't have that issue. We do play logically, trying to do the best thing to help us win. So that's a problem I can understand. If you have people playing like that, that would be a bummer. He says, games that throw the balance on diplomacy risks throwing the balance on illogical players. That is true. I won't deny that. I mean, that's definitely true, and it could be a problem. So that I'm not gonna deny it. So the game can be fun, but most of the time it will be ruined by illogical players deciding the game. I'm here to win. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. It does. You need a good group, and that's all there is to it. So I hate this game. We'll never ever play it again. Okay, sorry. After a second play, I still hate it, but it is more of an intense distaste rather than the all-consuming malice I bore it before. This game sucks. Okay. Sorry, pal. 20-minute games of this are fun, but some combinations of powers lead to an insufferable slog wherein everybody has a fistful of cards and winning anything becomes impossible. Never experienced that, so I disagree. A real piece of crap. I can't believe they'd re-release something like this. Boring, random, and fuzzy rules. Not really fuzzy rules, but I'm not saying the rules are absolutely perfect, but they're pretty darn clear, and I've played games with way fuzzier rules than this. And it's not random again. Played at friend's house way too often as he and others seem to enjoy cheating by changing rule definitions way too often. Glad I finally wised up and refused to play. I don't understand that. I mean, if they were cheating, that doesn't have anything to do with the game, so I don't get it. Not sure if the game is any good, as I never saw anyone win unless they were manipulating the rules. Well, why'd you give it a 1? If you don't even know if it's good, why'd you give it a 1? Okay, that was absolute worthless jump. Okay, let's see what the 2 say. And this will probably be the last one I do because, my gosh, there's just so many. Okay, so I do not see the appeal with this game at all. After buying into the hype, I was so very disappointed. Well, that's too bad because I was very much pleased. Unbalanced and boring. How in the Cosmic Encounter is anything but boring, people. Anything but boring. Even if you don't like it, I don't know how you could call it boring. It's actually there's so much stuff going on, it's like the total opposite. Pure negotiation game. It's not pure negotiation, first of all, but it is a large portion. Game that requires the right types of players for it to be interesting. I'll agree with you there. Can have lots of chaos and take that gameplay. Was a flop at my game group. Played one full game and another partial with different groups. Both games went also exactly the same way. Everyone got to 4 colonies, and then it was bash the leader until no one could stop them or 2 players decided to share the victory. Way too long of a game for it to end like that. Now, I'll admit, when you first play this game, that's actually kind of the way it works, because people, whenever you first start, you don't really understand all the depth and nuances of the game. So yeah, you'll just ask everyone ally with me, and inevitably, a lot of the time, a lot of people will join the attacker because they go, well, I want a colony, so they'll all attack, they'll all win together, and everyone will get a colony. But the more you play and the more you realize how the game works, and especially once you add the expansion, Cosmic Incursion or Cosmic Dominion, to build your rewards deck so that Defender rewards can give you awesome cards. Until you do that, yeah, there's a lot of people joining the attack more often than not. I'll admit that. But that is honestly because people, in my opinion, don't know how to play the game well. If you know how to play the game well, you're not going to invite everybody all the time. You're going to know when you should hold back and maybe not even ask for any allies at all and still come out winning. Or you ask everyone to ally with you on the offense and you play negotiate and kill them all while you get cards. I mean, there's too many things to do. The more you understand the game, the less that kind of stuff happens. But I won't deny that at the beginning, that could be something that your group does. No, I won't deny that at all. Okay, next. Normally, I write a not-so-brief rule summary, but I don't think that's possible. I don't know the game well enough, as I've only played it 3 times, and the last time was more than a year from where I am typing this, when I am typing this. It's funny, I am noticing I only comment on games I don't own when I really dislike them. This is not going to be an exception. Both of my plays have been pretty meh, and the second game ended with me having a blow-up, which I will explain later in writing this game off for dead. Boy, this guy. Ooh. Okay, this may be the last one because this is long. My third and last ever play took 90 to 120 minutes and ended with 2 players sharing a tie. It was like watching a TV show about paint drawing. The players whose turn it was flipped up another player's card that also had 4 planets, and they just openly agreed to share victory. The rest of the table was helpless and just had to watch it happen. Why the did I just waste 2 hours of my life? My friend that loves the game and brought his expansion-filled copy over went to the game's defense, paraphrased as it's been over a year. Quote, you could have played a zap card. I don't remember the actual type he said. In this case, he probably meant, ionic gas is probably what he means, because you can keep people from, or there's something, I can't remember, is it ionic gas? I don't remember the exact name either, but you can, it's quash, or something like that, where you can actually, I think it's quash or something along those lines, where 2 people are making a deal and you can make their deal fail after they agreed. So that's what they're trying to say, and that's true if someone had it. You could have played a zap card, which would have let you stop their play. So for me to stay in this game, I have to hope I draw that specific card. Well, there are a couple of them, and they could zap your zap. So even if I get lucky enough to draw the card to stop it, I still couldn't stop it. It's possible, but also one of them could have secretly played an attack card, which would have been hilarious. But the 2 players were timid like deers in headlights. Even if one mustered the courage to pull that play out of their bag of tricks, I played a 2-hour game to see a moment that'll be funny for 2 minutes, then brand the person that did it burnt for any other negotiations in future games of that. The game is awesome. You have no taste. Well, okay. That's their discussion. There seem to be 1,000 expansions, all adding more and more alien factions for you to play as, which you think would be cool, but I just found it tedious. Each one changed gameplay for the character, but keeping track of who did what and what helped who just made what was supposed to be a negotiation game feel like it was being crossbred with a tax form. Oh my gosh. Anything but that. Anything but that. Now here, okay, let me just finish and then I'll address this. Bottom line, I know it's a sacred cow, but it's just a colossal waste of time. It's munchkins in space with neater bits to make people forget how little this game has going for it. Okay, first of all, his whole deal about how you can end up sharing a victory, totally true. If you have 2 people who are at 4 and they want to say, hey, can we both play negotiate? That way we can, both just win. That is true. But for people who are experienced, that's an unbelievably dangerous move, because the other player could just as easily play an attack instead of a negotiate, and they would win alone. So doing that, it could be very funny if it happened, but that's the point. That's the learning point where you go, oh, that's not a good strategy, unless you know you can trust the person so perfectly. But the point is, that's a learning moment. That's not a moment to say the game is bad. That's a learning moment for everybody if the right thing had happened. But if people want to do that, they can do that too. But there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that, because people have choices. In this game, you have choices. Whenever people get up to 4, anything's possible. Someone's about to win anyway, so you might as well, if they want to win that way, let them win that way. Otherwise, it's just not that big of a deal. So, that being said, I still don't understand why people don't like this game. Apart from the group setup, I understand if you have the wrong group, it's going to ruin the game. Done deal. I understand that. But apart from that, saying it's random, too much luck, blah, 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 totally disagree, don't understand, oh my gosh, too much, can't handle it. These people are blowing my mind, and more stuff like that. So that being said, hopefully even though I obviously am blown away by these people's opinions, hopefully it's helpful for you to know if this is the kind of game that you would want. Maybe you see something in what they're saying that lets you think, you know what, maybe this isn't the game for me. And if that's the case, I'm glad it helps you. But apart from that, I hope it was at least entertaining to see me go crazy over these people bashing the game that I like the most. And that being said, I appreciate you watching the video. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And until then, have a good day. I'll see you then. Bye.